Hey, what is going on, guys? This is the SS Ultimate Goku back in another video, and I'm going to talk about what happened on Raw, Monday Night Raw last night, the night after, night after WrestleMania, obviously, um, and what's going on here. So, obviously, as we know, WWE screwed up and had Roman Reigns win at WrestleMania, which is a terrible decision, in my opinion. We get Roman's whole pandering bullshit. Once again, the bloodline crap. People don't want this. Only the Roman dick riders fucking want this. Roman fan dick riders want this. Um, but we oh man. So they Punk came out and we heard these supposed reports that Punk was going to take time off after WrestleMania, but according to CM Punk, he ain't taking no damn time off. Okay? So that was a bullshit lie. CM Punk is going to be sticking around. And we see Punk doing his promo and talking about stuff, and he basically confirmed what I already knew. But people were speculating on it is that, Punk wasn't originally planned to winning the world title. I think that was going to be the case unless he was winning it at the next pay-per-view after Seth got injured. Because he had won a number one contender match. And that was supposed to be for Saturday night's main event, but because Seth got injured, it was him and Jey Uso for the vacated title. But he basically confirmed that now Seth was probably going to hold on, and we know Survivor Series originally, the Masked Man, that ended up being Austin Theory. The Masked Man, when he cost Seth the match, or when he cost Punk the match at Survivor Series, that was actually meant originally, because I remember the reports at the time, was that was intended to be Seth in that match, Seth Rollins in that match, and it was supposed to be Seth coming out. It was supposed to be the Masked Man coming out to help Seth, who was going to be in that War Games match. But that was all changed up because Punk won the world title. So there's a lot of different things that were changed because of Seth's injury. Some of the reports had indicated. I think the early plans for WrestleMania. I think the early plans for WrestleMania 30, or I'm not WrestleMania 43 were going to be Seth and Roman for the world title. Because I remember hearing articles about that at the time, that was going to be what they were thinking of. It was either that or it was going to be Punk for the world title. Now, those were early plans. Obviously, once Punk won the world title, all that got changed up, and there was rumors about Braun Breaker. Obviously, Roman was an option. Cody was an option. But I do think that was the idea, and that's what basically Punk is talking about in that promo. It is that, like, yeah, I wasn't even supposed to be the champion, but because of things happening, I did become the champion. I still wish we could have had it longer. I think there were still more things he could have done. And there's still more things Punk could have done with that world title if he had kept it. Maybe losing it at SummerSlam. And there's still so many things he could have done if he had that title longer and getting that WrestleMania victory moment at WrestleMania. The promo he did on Raw and then being interrupted by Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody Rhodes, for anybody who doesn't know, he is not medically cleared to wrestle. I mean, obviously, he didn't do any physicality last night. He just came out for a promo with Punk. But he is currently dealing with a concussion and the eye injury. Now, we don't know if any of that is kayfabe or if this is, it's legitimate. Obviously, the punt was planned. So I can't imagine the eye. I don't know, man. Like, maybe it is or maybe it isn't. I don't know because, like, the punt was planned, okay? Him punting Cody was obviously a planned spot. So the idea that, the eye injury is legitimate, is something that I'm really skeptical on. But it looks really bad from what I've seen. And I'm sure you all have seen it, but I just don't know. And now there's reports that he also got a concussion, which, again, a concussion, he could have gotten that at any point in the match. It didn't necessarily have to have happened in the punt spot. But it's very interesting. But what they did say is that, Cody Rhodes basically said, anytime, Punk, name the time and place, and basically teasing a match for Cody and Punk in the future. I do believe. I mean, this match will either happen at SummerSlam or Survivor or WrestleMania 43. I do believe it's going to be WrestleMania 43. I think they're not going to have it at SummerSlam. But that would also mean that Cody would have to hold on to the title for an entire year unless he loses it and then wins it back. And we don't even know if Cody Rhodes is going to have the title. We don't even know if Cody Rhodes is going to have the title because they're saying that Cody might have to vacate the title depending on how severe the injury is. I don't know. They right now they're saying that they're not looking to vacate the title, but I mean, at this time they're probably still evaluating him though, because obviously this is just only 2 days after WrestleMania, so they're probably still evaluating the severity of his injury, and we're probably going to find more out on Friday on SmackDown. So that will be interesting what they're planning there. Braun Breaker got injured, it appears, again. He might be in concussion protocol because Seth screwed up and actually hit him in the wrong part of the chair on the back. We know that match is supposed to be Backlash. We got Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns now at Backlash. I doubt Jacob Fatu wins at Backlash. I just don't know with Jacob anyways. I'm like looking at this as like, well, why are we doing Jacob Fatu and Roman? Like, Jacob is good, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that he is world champion material. At least right now. He got a win against Drew McIntyre, which I'm still shocked by. But this is more of a filler feud for Roman. Obviously it has family ties to it, but it to me it's a filler feud because they don't have anybody to put him up against, especially if the plan is Obafemi. Because that's what I'm hearing too, is that the plan is for Obafemi to win the world title from Roman, which I don't agree with that. Here's my thing: Obafemi, in only 4 months, okay, has done what he's done, and yet LA Knight has done this for over 4 years now and still hasn't been positioned to be a world champion. So until LA Knight gets his world title, I don't think Obafemi should get his world title because Obafemi has only done this for 4 months. Why does he get it over LA Knight? LA Knight, and you can't use the Obafemi's over, and I'm like, okay, LA Knight's been over for over 4 years. You can't use that argument. LA Knight sells more merch than Obafemi does. Okay, so what is it? This is what I'm talking about when it comes to WWE and their pecking order bullshit. We're hearing reports about TKO is secretly behind things. Not necessarily Triple H, which I just think that's just them covering for Triple H, because I don't think Triple H has done really that particularly a good job. But yeah, just a lot of stupid stuff going on, unfortunately. How is people supposed to get over? I mean, look at this from here. Because night two's main event, the night two main event is the real WrestleMania main event. You could always say night one's the real main event, or night one is a main event. It really isn't. Okay? The night one main event, here's the way I look at the night one main event. I look at the night one main event more as like a subplot main event than an actual main event. Because it's essentially the final match of part one of WrestleMania. And part two is WrestleMania 2. There's WrestleMania Night 2. You know what I'm saying? That's what I look at it as. I don't really look at it as a main event. There's one main event, and that's Night 2. And no matter how many times WWE will have CM Punk say that he main evented 2 WrestleManias, he main evented 1 WrestleMania, and it was 2 nights ago. And you want to know something? CM Punk knows this. He knows this. He's never going to say it, but he knows this. And it's evident to how he wrestled against Roman Reigns. You don't think that match meant something to him? You don't think that match meant something to him? He went into that match with the biggest chip on his shoulder at 47 years old. At 47 years old, with the biggest chip on his shoulder, knowing that this was his first ever real main event at WrestleMania, where he actually is closing the show. You don't think he had a chip on his shoulder and being like, this might be my first and possibly last time. Hopefully he has another main event. But if he doesn't, and that's the thing. He treated this as if it was his last match, his last his last main event, possible last chance main event at WrestleMania. He treated it that way. He went out there, and in my opinion, he had Roman Reigns' greatest match. I don't think Roman Reigns has ever had a better match than that. I'm going to say it right now. I mean, I don't think it's Punk's best match. I don't think that was CM Punk's best match. I think his match, I still think the 2011 Cena match, Money in the Bank, is probably his best. Either that or the Undertaker WrestleMania match he had. It's between those two, I would think. And some people might even argue that the Raw one that he had with Cena right before he faced The Rock again, before Cena faced The Rock again. But those to me were better than his Roman match. Okay. But in terms of it being Roman's best match, I absolutely agree with it being Roman's best match. Because Roman, to me, has not really been in a true 5-star match. I mean, you could argue the 2 Cody WrestleMania matches, but there were a lot of buffoonery in that. Okay, the Bloodline, the Legends that were in 40 that came out. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on. There was a lot of convoluted stuff going on in those matches. I wouldn't say those matches were particularly 5. They were very close, but I wouldn't say they were 5. Okay, the Punk Roman match. And most of Roman's WrestleMania main event matches were never that memorable. I mean, a lot of them were, very whatever, we don't care type deals. But it was just like, oh, well, Roman's in the main event because Vince wants him in the main event. Punk, on the other hand, he looked at it this way. He's like, I want to have Roman's greatest match ever. It's not necessarily about Punk having the greatest match ever at WrestleMania. It was to have one of the greatest main events in WrestleMania history, which I think he did. I think he had one of the greatest WrestleMania matches in history. I'm not talking about a match at WrestleMania. I'm talking about the main event match. Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker 25. That was one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever, but that was not the main event. That didn't close the show that year. It should have, but it didn't close the show. Okay? Punk versus Roman closed the show. All right? In terms of the greatest WrestleMania main events, the ones that actually closed the show, this to me was right up there. All right, as one of the greatest. It was definitely Roman's best match, bar none. And I think that was Punk's mission. I think Punk's mission was to be like, might be my last chance to do a night one. And I'm sure he was hoping, I'm sure something tells me that Punk was hoping that Vince was watching this. Vince McMahon was watching this show. Because obviously Vince McMahon isn't in control of WWE anymore. But I'm sure in the back of his mind, I don't know this for sure, but I'm sure in the back of CM Punk's mind, he was like, I hope he's watching this. Because, Vince screwed him for so long from being able to close the show. That was always what Punk wanted to do. I'm sure that was in the back of his mind. Like, I really hope he's watching this show. Because that's the person that never wanted Punk to close WrestleMania ever. TKO, Triple H, they didn't have problems with him closing the show. All right? Everything aligned for him to do it, but because of Seth's injury, but he got the chance and he ran with it. He made sure that this was going to be not only one of the greatest matches ever, but he wanted to make sure that this was Roman's greatest match ever. 10 years from now, even though Punk should have won this match, everybody is going to remember this match because it's one of the greatest WrestleMania matches in history, but also because it was Roman's best match. The perception of Roman Reigns has always been that he was Vince's picked guy, and he gave him all these WrestleMania main events that he didn't deserve because he wasn't ready for them, which he wasn't. All right. And he never could deliver a 5-star match in those matches. Not that Vince would ever expect that. He just wanted coronations from the fans, which they never would accept him for as the big dog. This is what Punk wanted if he wasn't going to win. It was, I want to make this match the greatest match ever. And you see from Roman's tweet, even though he's trying to stay in character, the respect he gave, because he knew. Roman knows that was his best match. He knows that that was his best match. He knows that nothing he did while he was, doing his tribal chief as WWE champ or Universal Champion and WWE Champion for the 4 years or whatever, he knows damn well that it's true. He knows damn well that was his damn greatest match ever. In terms of what's going to happen with Punk, I am curious to see what they're doing with Punk next, because obviously there's the tease for WrestleMania 43 or SummerSlam with Cody. But at the same time, what is he going to be doing right now? Who is he going to be feuding with at Backlash? He's not going for the world title. He's not doing a rematch with Roman, since they got that secured with Jacob Fatu. What is Punk doing? Where is Punk going next? Right now, if he's not taking, which he basically said he wasn't taking no vacation. If he's not going and taking time off, what is Punk doing next? Where is he going next? Like, who is he feuding with next in the next month? Not necessarily 4 months from now or possibly a year from now. Who is he going to be feuding with in the short term? All right. That's something that we need to know, because, since like his feud with Drew, and then his triple threat feud at last year's WrestleMania, And then the whole thing with the Vision. After that all ended because of the injury from Seth, he's just basically been the world champion. So there's got to be something he's got to do in the short term in terms of a match that he's going to be with, and that's the one thing I'm really curious with, because there's really no thing right now for him to do. And that's what I'm worried about, because I'm trying to figure out, like, who is he going to feud? Is he going to feud with Dominic Mysterio? You know, is he going to feud, like, who is he feuding with? The dude just was in the main event of WrestleMania. Another reason why I think he should have won, because Roman can just really feud, just get into a feud with anybody, even his, bloodline guys, bloodline members. But Punk, we don't know what they're doing. LA Knight, yeah, it appears he's going to feud with Gunther, which I'm kind of worried about that, since Gunther says he's going to be going for the world title again. Still know what's going to be there. Hopefully LA Knight can finally rebound and win the world title, but now that Roman's champion, doubt that's happening. And it seems all pointing to Obafemi getting it. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate. If you like the video, my videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification bell for latest content. Thank you. Let me know what you guys think about potential feuds for Punk and all this other stuff. I'm out of here. I'm the Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace. Also, make sure to follow me on the Twitch, the Instagram, and I do have a Discord link in the description where we discuss various topics, including this one here. Now I'm out. Peace.